With the college football season progressing, I thought it was time to look forward to the 2022 NFL Draft. I've already done a list of the top 5 quarterbacks that I had ranked at the beginning of the season. So here's currently my top 5 edge rushers for the 2022 draft. Here's the key for an edge rusher: these are 4-3 defensive ends, and these are 3-4 outside attacking linebackers. Now, could there be a list with interior defensive linemen? Hey, let me know in the comments below if you want that. But just wanted to clarify that in terms of pass rushers, in case you saw a defensive tackle that you thought should be on this list that isn't on this list. So let's get into it. This is Rich Sports Talks 5 edge rushers leading into the 2022 NFL Draft. At number 5, I have Drake Jackson from USC. Projects as an edge, 3-4 edge rusher, going to the next level. Can do everything. Very good burner off the edge. He has a great first step, but he also has great footwork and agility and an ability to be patient and change his direction. Look, he's very difficult to block. But a plus thing, too, is he's not just a straightforward edge rusher. He has the ability to drop deep into coverage. There are things he needs to work on. He's not a great tackler, and he needs more consistency. You see a couple of plays in a game that he just jumps off the tape, but then he could disappear for a little bit of a while. But here's the thing. You cannot teach that type of speed and athleticism. Almost feels like he would be best used as a situational edge rusher in the beginning of his NFL career, a guy that you bring in 15 times a game maybe. I do think he can become an every down back, but especially in the beginning, he might be better off until he gets familiar with the playbook. But especially later in the first round, this could be a nice steal, especially for a competitive team and a guy that can get to the edge and bend the corner. Number 4, George Karlaftis, the defensive end from Purdue. Now, there's a lot I really like about him. He's got really good tape. He does a really good job of using his hands. He does a great job of getting underneath the tackle's pad level and ripping. Really good. And look, he's big. He could play a 3-4 end if needed. Projects better to a 4-3 end in the NFL. Big bull rusher, uses that physical ability. But the couple of things that I knock about him is, despite the great technique and the great strength, he does lack a bit of explosiveness. And while I do think he can eventually catch up and use that strength and his technique in the NFL, he might struggle a little bit early. And you really look, when he came out of the scene, he was one of the most hyped defensive players in college football, had an incredible freshman season where he had 7.5 sacks and 17 tackles for a loss. But the production has been down. He was injured last year, but even this season, he's had some good tape. But you look at the talent and the production doesn't match. Only 2.5 sacks and 4 tackles for a loss through 6 games. Now, you look at what he did as a freshman and what he's doing now, you want to see more production from him because you see the talent, you see the great tape, but you don't see the production. And if you're taking a pass rusher high in the draft, you want that player to be highly productive. Number 3, Aidan Hutchinson from Michigan, defensive end, 4.5 sacks so far this season, constantly giving effort. I love his tape. He is relentless, plays every single down hard. Very good run defensive end, probably the best defensive end that defends the run in this class. Great hand fighting, able to create space, huge frame, big, physical, and agile. But here's the thing, he needs more production as a pass rusher. Once again, he can come in day one, be a very good run defender, instantly improve a team's run defense. And I do think he has a bigger ceiling. He has a huge upside, but you need to get him with a good coach. But if you put him with a coach that can help him with his pass rush technique, because he is very coachable. He is a kid that you look, he's a consistent starter at Michigan. Everyone rants about how coachable he is. So this could be one of those players that can come in and be very good, but he has a great upside. And if you get the right coach and the right scheme, he could be a 10-sack guy in the NFL if done correctly. Number 2, Adam Anderson, the edge from Georgia, the best 3-4 outside linebacker in this draft, without question. He is explosive. And when we talk about this great Georgia defense, he leads that defense in sacks and pressures. You want to watch great tape. He has the best first step in this class, and incredible speed. Like if you're a tackle and you're slightly delayed getting out to the corner, he is going to bury you and he is going to get by you. You look, he is constantly around the quarterback. He's 226 pounds, so he's a bit undersized. Could a team that runs a 4-3 bring him in as a situational pass rusher? Sure. But if you're a 3-4 team and you're looking for that burner off the edge, he is that guy constantly making plays, constantly in the face of the quarterback. Could he add a couple more pounds, get a little bit bulkier to add some power moves to the repertoire? Sure. But when you have that kind of speed and burst off the edge, it is incredibly difficult to defend. And number one, Kayvon Thibodeaux from Oregon, the defensive end. I mean, he's basically been the best defensive player since last season. We've been projecting him as the first overall pick, and he did not disappoint. Coming back from injury, when he's on the field, he is a game wrecker. We have not seen a game wrecker like this in college since Chase Young. And you look at what Chase Young has done in the NFL, I think Thibodeaux is right up there with him. Great first step. You look at everything he can do. He is a complete pass rusher. He does everything incredibly well. And is there a bit of a red flag with the injuries this past season? Yes, but he has shown coming back from the injury and in limited time that he is a dynamic player. He is in the backfield constantly, and this could be a perennial all-pro defensive end if put into the right system. To me, he might be the first player off the board. And we talk about quarterbacks going number one overall, but he could be that player that stops that quarterback going number one overall trend. He is just that talented. Thank you for joining us here today. Do you want more NFL draft content? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Throughout the season, we will not only be looking at draft prospects, but of course, we are going to have plenty of mock drafts on the dais. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to not miss any of our NFL draft content, and give us a like. We want as many people who love the NFL draft as we do to see this content. But until next time, this is Rich Sports Talk.